Property Masters in 5 minutes of free time. Just wanted to let you know today we're gonna talk about the seller's disclosure, and you must disclose in the state of Florida and in most states for that matter. You must disclose all known latent defects that are currently in the property. You have to do that, and any realtor has to disclose any known defects that we know as well. So what is a known latent defect? Well, that means something that isn't readily obvious. So let's say, for instance, there's a leak in the roof, and it hasn't shown through to the drywall, but you know about the leak in the roof. You have to disclose that. How about maybe there's a couple electrical outlets that aren't working because the wires are loose, or there's a loose wire at the electrical panel that is not really available because it's behind the panel that you know about. You must disclose that. Maybe there's damage to a wood floor and you didn't want to look at it, so you threw a throw carpet over top of it. That's a no-no as well. So you cannot hide anything that you know is wrong. You must disclose all known latent defects. And this goes beyond closing, and just because it's an as-is contract does not mean that you can still hide what is damaged. So if there's, for instance, an as-is contract and you hid something, they can still come after you after closing and sue you for any damages or repairs that they had to make because you intentionally hid something from them. Hey, if it's something you don't know, you don't know. They're going to have to prove that you intentionally hid it. Maybe along the lines of you've made an insurance claim before, or they found receipts or know of receipts from a handyman who tried to fix it in the first place. So basically, bottom line is disclose. And if they still love the house, then they'll accept it, or they'll ask you to fix it or something along those lines. But do not ever hide anything. So what we created is the seller's property disclosure for residential property. And again, this only applies to residential. It does not apply to commercial. And if you find yourself in a dispute, make sure you hire an attorney. Don't take my advice. But a seller's property disclosure, residential, this is what I call a CYA form. The courts have ruled that if you fill this form out honestly, that generally covers you. If you lie on this form, you're still in trouble. If you fill out this form honestly, it is a comprehensive form, and it basically covers you, and you've met your obligation to disclose. You don't have to use this form. You can write down everything that's wrong on a piece of paper, and that's disclosing. Remember, the key word is you must disclose. How you disclose, hey, that's up to you. I recommend you use this form though, and we have all of our anyone who lists a property with us uses this form. Basically, this form identifies the property, asks if it's owner or tenant occupied, then it asks about each system within the house. First one being structures, systems, and appliances, and it just basically asks if all of them are working, if the pool's working, if the AC is working, that type of stuff. It then asks if you've had any termites, if you have a bond, or if you've had any other wood-destroying pests do any damage. It asks in Section 3 if there's been any water intrusion, drainage, or flooding, water from this direction or water from this direction, as well as the plumbing and whether the plumbing is working properly, which is the next section. It goes into detail on the plumbing, asking what your water source is and have you had any problems with septic systems, that type of thing. Next is roof and roof-related issues. So to your best of your knowledge, is the roof free of leaks? And if there was ever a leak, then did you fix it? And when was it fixed? And then how old is the roof? It asks you that as well. Goes into pools, hot tubs, spas, and sinkholes as well. It asks you if there's a homeowners association and what the restrictions are on the homeowners association. Along those lines, you should be ready and have the link, which they're all online now mostly, have the link ready to share with someone who puts an offer in on the property. And then it goes into environmental. If it's built before 1978, does it have lead-based paint? Is there any asbestos? Are there any type of environmental issues in the soil that you know of? Are there any governmental claims and litigations? So is there any liens against the property? Any proposal to take your property away, eminent domain, anything like that? Are there any zoning restrictions on the property? Are there any deed restrictions? And then is the seller subject to the FERPTA tax? Here we go again with the FERPTA tax. That's the foreign investment in real property. They're going to withhold a certain amount if you're a foreigner, because they don't tend to pay their taxes. So then the final page is one that people are supposed to be left with the seller, but for some reason it doesn't get done this way. You leave this page with the seller, and if anything happens between the time we list it and the time we sell it, you use this page as an update. Very important to disclose all known latent defects. Do not mess around with this. Just simply disclose. And the questions answer yes, no, and don't know. Don't know is an acceptable answer, only if you really don't know. You want to list your property and get top dollar? We're here to help you, your Property Masters team. Call or text us at 386-866-1007. We get you top dollar for your property or your business. Have a great week.